Hi everyone, welcome you all. In our previous video, we have seen how to handle dropdown, which is having select tag in HTML. Now in the today's video, I'm going to show you how we can handle multi-select dropdown. That means we can select multiple items or multiple options from the dropdown. Now I'll quickly show you some example here. I'm launching my application and which is having some multi-select dropdown. If I just scroll down the page, here you can see colors. So this is the we can say it is a combo box or drop down or list box, whatever. So which is having multiple items or multiple options. So we can select multiple options just by pressing control key like this. We can select multiple option, one item, two items, three items, whichever items we want to select, you can select from this drop down. Now let me show you how to select multiple options from this multi-select drop down. So if I inspect this element on your HTML, you can see the selected tag by default and there are multiple options also available. Okay, now let's see how to handle this. Let's go to VS Code editor. Now I already created one test file, multi-select dropdown.spec.js. Now I have imported Playwright test module, test and expert functions. Then I have created one test module, and in the test scope, I have just launched my application. Okay, now let us start writing the script to handle the multi-select dropdown. Okay, so the first option is, let's see how to select multiple option directly, right? So I can say select multiple options from multi-select dropdown. Okay, so this is the main task, right? We can select multiple options or single option, whatever. So straightforward, the method is available. I can say await page dot select option. You can directly use this method, or you can say page dot locate or whatever. So page dot selection and page dot select option, and in this, and we need to pass the selector, so the locator of that element. So if I go back and this is select option, if I go back to the selector hub, I can see the locator. So this is a CSS selector for that element. Now I'm trying to use hash colors. Colors is basically an ID, which is trying to use as part of selector. Now this is a CSS selector for that element. Now, once you get this element, now we need to select multiple options, right? So we can simply say, and we can pass one comma here. And in the JavaScript array, we can define inside this, we can specify multiple options. So how we can specify, suppose I want to select a blue, red, and yellow. So you can put in single quotations. You can directly specify the value. Let's say blue I want to select, and then red I want to select, and then yellow I want to select. So if you want to select single option, you can just specify only single thing. Okay. So this is a direct option which is available. White page dot select option and locator, comma, and whatever options you want to select or whatever items you want to select from the drop down, we can just specify them. That's it. So this particular command will automatically select multiple options from the drop down. So let me run this. I'm opening the new terminal, and then I'm just running the same test file. So my test file is multi-select dropdown. Multi-select dropdown dot spec.js, and I'm trying to run only on the Chromium and in the headed mode so that we can clearly see that. In the last statement, I put wait time here, page dot wait time mode, so that as soon as you selected multiple values, immediately the page will be closed. So just I want to pause my script for some time so that we can clearly see what are the options have been selected. Now save the file, and then I'm executing this run command. Now you can just observe here, and from the colors, three options should be selected. Now you can see red, blue, yellow. Three options have got selected from the colors box. After 5 seconds, it is got exited. Okay, so this is the main action we perform on the multi-select dropdown. And we can add some validations on this multi-select dropdown. So let me add some more validations. Just like a normal dropdown, how we have handled in the previous video, same kind of assertions we can also add in this multi-select dropdown. Okay. Now let me show you some of the assertions. What are the assertions we can add? Assertions. So I want to check total number of options in a dropdown, multi-select dropdown. Simple. The first assertion is check number of options. Let me put this in the comment. The first one is check number of options in drop down. It is exactly same as in a previous drop down. And same thing, we can just capture all the options from the drop down. So to capture all the options, what we need to do, we need to write await page.locator and specify the locator we already used, right? So /colors is the ID of the drop down element. Inside the drop down, there are multiple options are there. I'm specifying the option tag here so that this particular locator will get all the options or all the items from the drop down, and that I'm going to store in a variable called options, and I can specify this as a const variable, and then we can apply one assertion. So simply I can say await expect and the options, and how many options you are expecting to have. I'm expecting 5. So to have count. Okay, so to have count is 5 options I'm expecting. So this is a simple way we can check the number of options or number of items present inside the multi-select dropdown. So we can simply capture all the options and store them into variable. Then we can apply one assertion called to have count 5. Okay. And same thing we can do in another way also. First, let me execute this. And I'm not performing any action. I just want to find total number of options are 5 or not. I just want to check. Now let me run the script one more time. Okay, now it is got selected. It's not selected anything because we are not perform any action. Now my assertion is got passed. So why? Because exactly the 5 options are there in my multi-select dropdown. And same thing you can do another way. So you can simply, by using JavaScript array also we can do. You can say check number of options in dropdown using JavaScript array concept. So for that, we need to use $$ to capture multiple options. It is exactly the same. And slightly we have to change assertion. So what we can do is I can get instead of locator, we can specify $. So what is the difference means here $$ will return options in the form of array. Now same locator, which will return all the options in the form of array. So once they get options, this is basically array as I said. So what we need to do is we need to find a length. So this assertion will not work. So instead of that, suppose if you want to print total length of the options, you can simply say, first let us try to print, okay, console.log. And to get the total number of options, I'm just printing number of options. So number of options, I can say options dot length. So this particular keyword will give you total number of options get from this drop down. So $, whenever you use $, this will return all the options in the form of array. So it will just print the total number of options, and then we will add some assertion. So let's first see how many options it will print. So I'm expecting 5 in the previous example, right? So I think it should also return the 5. And later I will add assertion. So once you know the number of options, then we will add 5. So now we can just see exactly number of options. It is displaying 5. Fine. So now I'll put assertion. So I'm just displaying, but this is not our intention. Just try to print one assertion, put some assertion. So I can say await, expect options dot length. So that should be what? Equal to 5, right? So option dot length dot to be. So this is the assertion functions to be, and you can say 5. So this is another way of putting the assertion on the counter. So this is the one approach, and this is another approach. By using to have count, we can do it, or by using to be, we can get number length of the options, and then we can apply to be. So both you can have. But when you use have count, we have to get only locators. But when I use length, you have to get them into array format. Okay, so $$ will return the elements in the form of array. Fine. This is the one assertion I put. Another way of asserting the same thing. Now execute one more time. Okay, now exactly it is giving 5. And now my assertion should pass. Now my assertion is also got passed. Okay, Perfect. So this is how we can simply, okay, let me save this. I have not saved actually. We got the result from the previous execution. Save it because we should not get this because we have commented this line, right? Because we have not saved after updating the step. So let me run one more time. So this time we have commented the statement. So it will not show you how many options are there, but it will check the assertion. And now my assertion is got passed. So this is another way to check the number of options which are present inside the array. Okay, basically it's a multi-select drop-down array. Okay, check the number of options in the drop-down using JavaScript array. Okay, so there is one more assertion we can add. Suppose particular item or particular option is present inside the particular multi-select or not, we can cross-check. The presence of element or presence of option we can check. So the third assertion, we can check presence of value or presence of option in the drop-down. So we can check presence of the value in the drop-down. Simply what we can do is we can get the content, text content of the drop-down box. Okay, so how to get it? We can just get this. And we don't check the option actually because this will match with multiple options. We want to get only the drop down. Colors is an attribute which is representing the drop down CSS selector, right? From the whole drop down. So we just remove this. Await page dot dollar dollar. Instead of dollar dollar, we use locator. Okay, because we're not going to find length or anything. Simply get the locator. One single element. Page dot locator. And this is a locator of the drop down element. From the drop down, I'm using text content. So this will return the all the options text inside the variable. I'm calling it as a content. I'll make it as a const variable. Okay. So from the drop down, I'm getting all the text content into the variable called content. Now I want to expect something to be there in the content. Simply we can write one assertion. I can say await page await expect await expect, and whatever content we already captured, that content dot includes, and what are the options we are expecting inside the content. Let's say blue I'm expecting to be there, so that's the presence I want to check. So dot, so this particular will return true if the blue option is available in the drop down. So the content dot includes blue will return true or false. That we are comparing with our expected dot to be truthy. So this is a simple assertion we can put. So this will basically check the presence of the option or presence of the element in the multi-select dropdown. Okay. Now I just put blue. Now the blue is present inside my dropdown, so it definitely pass. Execute it. Okay. Now you can see blue is already there in my color, so definitely it will pass. Okay. Now my test is got passed. So let us put some negative assertion. So for example, we will give some different color which is not there in the list: white, yellow, green. So black is not there in this list. So let me try to add, instead of blue, let me add black. Now save it and then execute one more time. And now you can check my test is got failed. So black to be truthy. Okay, so if you want to put some negative assertion, simply we can expect false, right? Black should not be there. So what we can do is we can add one more. So expect content dot includes black. Instead of to be truthy, we can say to be falsy dot to be falsy, because we're not expecting black should be there in the dropdown. Now save and then execute. Control C will exit from the command prompt and then execute the command one more time. So this time assertion will definitely pass because we are not expecting black should be there in the multi dropdown. Perfect. My assertion is got passed because we are not expecting black should be there in the dropdown. Okay. So this is the simplest way we can handle multi-select dropdown. So we can directly select the options by passing in the form of array. And then we can also check how many options are there in the multi-selector dropdown just by using to have count. And also we can check how many options are in the dropdown by using length. And we can also check the presence of the option in the multi-select dropdown. Okay, so this is how we can handle multi-select dropdown in Playwright. Okay, so that's all for this video. In the next video, I will show you how to handle bootstrap dropdown. So that we are going to see in the next video. So thanks for watching. We'll see in the next video.